G'day, guys. Coming to you from Melbourne. I'm finally back, despite some very interesting events over the last week that challenged me to my core. But I'm here. It's a pleasure to be home. Like I've never actually felt this grateful and settled in Melbourne. It's only been a few hours, but the minute I landed, I was like, thank fuck. And the trip was fantastic. Like, do not get me wrong, I will do another video on like Costa Rica, Guatemala, and Mexico. Once I'm feeling a little bit more like myself. But what was present this morning was I wanted to talk about the interesting events that occurred just before I got on the plane to come home. And it was around this stomach bug that I contracted in Bacalar and the anxiety that came with this bug and virus. Because it has created a topic that I really felt was present. And it's the statement of don't use personal development to feel safe, because it can make you feel worse and more unsafe. And I really want to speak about my experience with this stomach bug in a shorter space of time I can, because I did actually record two other versions of this video, but I just blabbed on too much. So in this video, I'm going to give you the short version, but I want you guys to really take away the simplicity of just how powerful you can be when you shift out of this whole I need to heal myself, or I've got some unfixed trauma in my body and it's fucking me up. Like, literally, after you hear this, I'm hoping that you just go, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done defining what's going on in my mind and my body and making it mean shit that's not actually there, right? After you hear this story, I promise you, well, I shouldn't say I promise you, I hope that it actually wakes you up, because I've known this for a while, and I've had other experiences where I guess this has been in my on my mind, and I've had coaches share it with me before. But after this experience, I am a true believer in like, personal development should not be used for safety, for feeling better about yourself, because it really does, and it can cause more issues in your life. So basically what happened, I'm in Bacalar near Tulum in Mexico. I'm having a decent time. I would say I'm having an amazing time like Guatemala and Costa Rica, but I'm having a decent time. I know my trip's coming to an end. And literally the day before I plan to book my flights, like the night before, I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to book my flights and just go home. I got a stomach bug, and it made me feel all kinds of things, guys. Like, literally, I was nauseous, throwing up all night. And typically in the past, when I'd felt this way while being on the road and traveling, I had gotten anxious. So when I'd been in Bali before, when I'd been on camp and I'd, felt sick, it had always triggered this anxiety response. So as I'm throwing up and all this stuff's happening, I know I'm poking my dragon here, my beast, right? My trauma is going to come up. So I'm defining I'm fucked already, right? Not only am I fucked because I have a stomach bug and there's a virus, there's bacteria in me, but I'm saying I'm poking the dragon's going to wake up. And when the dragon wakes up, I know what's coming. So basically, when I started throwing up, the whole time, though I know what's happening, and I kind of know what I'm doing, that I'm making it worse. I continue to go, the dragon's awake. Oh my God, my anxiety response. I need to dive into my personal development tools. So literally, after I'd thrown up a few times, I'm sitting on the couch in the hostel doing breath work to try and get the anxiety out of my body. Right. I'm thinking about, where's the trigger coming from? I'm doing circles, writing creative development. If you're from that world, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm doing circles on why I got the stomach bug. I'm doing everything possible to try and get rid of this feeling. Fast forward 3.5 hours from about, let's say, 6 a.m., 6:30 to 9:30 in the morning. I'm lying by the pool at this new hotel that I booked for myself because I couldn't be in a hostel anymore because I'm too sick, delirious, you know, feeling tight everywhere from the anxiety, in pain, and on the phone to my mum going, I think I might need to check myself into hospital. I'm in a bad way mentally and physically. Anyhow, I want to pause there. So I I had basically created this amount of stress and uneasiness on top of the bug in 3 hours, right? By trying to get the feeling out of my body. And it wasn't until my mum floated the idea, well, you just got to find ways to make yourself feel better, where I started to go down the rabbit hole. I'm like, okay, well, cold water, that's going to get me out of my head. I know cold water does that for me. I'm a regular swimmer in the ocean, in pools whenever I have a chance. So I dived in the pool and immediately, literally like in an instant, snapped me out of it. I was like, fuck, okay, whoa. I'm breathing again. My body relaxed and I'm like, shit, okay. And as I'm in the pool, I notice I'm not thinking about my trauma anymore. I'm thinking about how cold this water is and how nice it feels on my body. I'm like, okay, I'm focused on that. Got out of the pool and I'm like, oh no, shit, oh, my stomach, oh no, the anxiety. Then you know, and so while I'm waiting for this room at the new hotel, I'm in and out of the pool, in and out of the pool, trying to keep this dragon down. So anyway, I had a coaching session the next day, right? Which was my second last day in Bacalar. And I messaged my coach and I'm just like, mate, I'm feeling really crook. I'm gonna have to reschedule with you. And my coach gave me not a smack over the head, but he basically said to me, he's like, mate, I'm fine to reschedule if you're really crook, but I'm going to encourage you to choose a more powerful outcome for yourself. And once you've chosen that powerful outcome, let me know what it is, and we can work on it. So whether it's to reschedule or whether you're just going to show up anyway, let me know. And just that message, because you know, even though I'd gotten in the pool, like the whole day had been a bit of a dogfight. I'm feeling a little better than no, I'm not feeling better. I'm feeling a bit better than I'm not feeling better. I knew after I got that message, I'm like, mate, you have chosen to try and go for safety over what you love. That's when I woke up. I'm like, you're trying to make yourself feel better over just going, fuck. No, like what is safety? What is feeling better? That's just a state, right? I can't actually quantify that as a result. There's levels to feeling better. But what do I love? What do I want right now? Well, I want to go back to Australia to set myself up in this amazing house over the ocean and the mountains that I can see, right? I've been obsessed about this house for years, right? So literally I chose that in my mind and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling like crap, but I'm just going to focus on what I love, because I knew, I'm like, okay, if I focus on what I love, the rest is going to take care of itself. My goal here is actually not to feel better. It's to get back home so I can start making moves towards this house. Right. And my mind's like, but you're sick. You've got to feel better before you take on that flight. And my mind's, you know, trying to feed me all this bullshit about all these conditions that I needed to fulfill before I go back home. Guys, when I say that when I made this decision to just focus on the house while I was laying there sick in bed, that whole night, the next night after throwing up, that night I did throw up, but that whole next night, I was sweating, I was drinking water, and I knew, and I'm delirious, but I knew this is happening because the bacteria is leaving. The next morning, I woke up and I literally, when I say I sprung out of bed, I felt like new life had been breathed into me. And I'm like, my stomach is still fucked, but I'm feeling better. My mind's back. Miraculously. So I messaged my coach. I go, dude, we're on for today. Don't cancel it. And though the rest of the trip I didn't feel great, and though on the plane I had multiple instances where I'm like, I think I'm going to chuck, and I didn't. Though I didn't chuck, but you know, it still wasn't a nice feeling. I made it back home. I made it here, still feeling, you know, a little so-so, but much better, in a position to create what I love. The moral of the story, but the thing was, had I continued down, I need to get this anxiety out of my body, it would have fucked me. It would have hit me for six, and it was hitting me for six. Like, had I continued down that route of I need to focus on feeling better here, I probably would have put myself into hospital. Not because the bug was that bad, was because it would have been because I chose to be there. I would have put myself in the bed. So I really want to punch this message home for all of you out there that are like, I'm feeling shitty and I hear, but don't go to your personal development tools going, I need to feel, I need to change this. It doesn't need to be changed. You just need to feel it. You just need to feel that and focus on what you love anyway, because the feeling that comes along with creating and going after what you want, it's going to change. One minute you're going to be happy about it, then you're going to be sad, then you're going to be angry, and all this stuff's going to happen. But as long as you get to the outcome, that's all that matters. That's all that matters, right? Don't make yourself worse, and don't end up in worse positions because you try and fix yourself. You try and fix how you feel. It's the game again, and I do not mean disrespect here, but it's the game of cowards. It's the game of cowards. Okay, go for what you love. Go for what you love in spite of how you feel. That's the lesson from this story and how this all played out. So, anyhow, I hope this hit home for someone who's watching here. Anyhow, I actually got to get onto a coaching call in like 10 minutes. I'm going to put a line through it here. If you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, subscribe, share it with a friend, comment your experiences with trying to heal yourself and fix yourself when shit's going bad and you're sick. But yeah, that's the moral of the story, man. Go for what you love in spite of how you feel, and everything will work out. All right, love you guys, and chat real soon.